This is the Next Up YouTube, and in today's video, I'm gonna do a tutorial. And let me move my recorder out the scene. But I love doing tutorials, especially designed for people who are new to Android or who may not be familiar with it. And I kind of have a lot of background with this. For one, something I used to do when I first got into Android and the Droid line, and then kind of do this for my grandparents. Got my grandmother. She got some tech products, and she's kind of learning it. So I've learned how to be patient over the years and go back to the basic stuff. The reason why, because sometimes we take for granted that some people are just new to it or need someone to slow down and show them step by step details. And so this video is going to be designed for just that. It is meant to be step by step details. So for a lot of you out there, this is going to seem like, man, this is mundane. You're getting way too basic, but this video is designed for that. Now, I'm going to break this up in several parts because I want to keep my videos, well, I don't want them to go too long because, one thing I have learned over the years, I know even my mother or who I allow or show my tutorial videos for, and she even say after a certain point, it's too much. So I've learned to kind of cut them short. But anyway, let's get to it. So this tutorial or this section of tutorial is going to be about how to set your phone up out of the box. Like you just took your phone out of the box, you're trying to get set up. Now, this is going to take into account that you have an old smartphone. So this is going to show you how to go from your old smartphone to your new smartphone. Now, the game plan in these videos is to show you how to do this on the Pixel 6. But in this particular incident, or in this particular video, the setup process for pretty much almost all Pixels right now, especially those on Android 12, are going to be exactly the same. So I'm actually going to use my old Pixel 3 XL for right now just to get set up. Now, once it's set up, then we'll go from there. Now, give me a second to reposition because I'm just seeing that there's a light that is a hindrance. All right, that might be better. I'm still going to have it towards the bottom, but I'm going to be cognizant of trying to keep that light out your way. So this is going to be out of the box how you would set up. So for this particular video, we're going to pretend like the Pixel 6 will be the old phone and this will be the new phone. Because again, it's the exact same process. Now, you're going to see, let me get it, a tool that is going to come with the box and they're going to look like this. Now, this tool is going to be more for if you're coming from a device that either do not have USB Type-C or, and that's going to be like a really old Android device, or if you're coming from an iPhone. So if you're coming from like an iPhone, basically what you would do is this in. We'll go into your iPhone, obviously, and then this in. We'll hook into this adapter so that it can plug into the Pixel 6. But for right now, we're going to treat it like you're coming from an Android device for simplicity purposes. So let's get started. My apologies for the background noise. I was grabbing stuff. So the first thing, get started. And it's going to actually put your SIM card in. Now, let's just say, and this step is going to be taken in two accounts. Account number one, if you're someone who do not want carrier software on your phone and you bought it through a carrier, then you're going to want to do this step without your SIM card, or the way I just told you. Set it up through Wi-Fi first, get your phone set up, and then put your SIM card in there. The only problem with that, though, is it may not transfer your numbers, like your all your text messages and all that stuff that may be stored on the SIM. So you got to take that into account if you're someone who, if you don't care about having like T-Mobile or Verizon or AT&T's app on your phone, then that's fine. And plus, I'm going to show you a step that you can remove that anyway. And another reason why you would skip the step, let's just say you got your phone for whatever reason, and you just want to play around with it before you put your SIM card in there, this would be the next step. But if that is not the case, then pop your SIM card in, and then we going. But I'm gonna skip this for now. I'm gonna use my Wi-Fi. So I'm gonna set this up on my Wi-Fi. So give me a second to sign in my Wi-Fi. Give it a second. It's gonna save that. All right. So now it's going to, they say, getting your phone ready. It's going to go through this process. Now, another thing to keep in mind whenever you're setting your phone up, give yourself about, I would say about maybe 30 minutes to an hour. Now, I've actually did end up setting my Pixel 6 before work, and that's fine. Like I say, you can still do that, but if you really want to have the time to get everything you need, I say set it aside about an hour. That should be enough time to make sure you got your apps and all your settings, and you're able to get everything charged back up and ready to go. Now, keep in mind, when you take a phone out of the box, especially the Pixel 6, the first day is because of its, it's a software, it's learning your usage pattern. It may feel like this phone have horrible battery life, and don't panic. Let the phone just go through its day. Unless you're about to die, you got to plug it in, and to get through the day. But let it go through the process through the day, and then the next when you go either overnight or go to bed, then charge it up, and then kind of allow your phone to get a chance to learn your usage. All right. So this is the part where it's going to ask you if you want to copy your data from one phone to another. Now, there are two ways you can do this. If you have your old phone, which is highly recommended, then you're going to want to use your old phone. It just makes it so much easier. But if you don't, you can actually just sign in through your Google account or whatever account you have, and it will transfer through that way. Now, let's just say you do not have a Google account. Then at this point, you'll just have to set it up out of the box like a new phone. You just say, I don't have a Google account. But I'm going to treat this like you're coming from a new phone and you do have a Google account. So we're going to go ahead and hit next. And they're going to tell you, okay, if you want to use your old phone or iPhone, or go ahead and plug in the cord now. So I have the USB-C cord because I am using my Pixel 6, which is a USB Type-C device. And let's go to next. Like, as it'll tell you right here, if you got to use an iPhone or whatever, basically tell you to grab your own cable. But your old cable, and the old cable I'm having right now is a USB Type-C. So next, so let's plug in. And I did this opposite. It actually wants you to do old phone first, then new phone. But it's gotten so much better that once you plug both phones in, it'll recognize it. Now, you'll see where it says here, it'll ask me if I want to copy my data from my new phone to the old phone. And I'm going to go ahead and say yes, copy. And that's what it's going to ask me to either use a pen. All right, now it's copying my accounts. So here, once you get to the next page, you're going to want you to go ahead and sign in. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. So once you get done signing into, because I have multiple accounts, I got one other thing I got to do. So let me update this policy real quick. Update. Now that device policy thing, you're likely not going to see that unless you're using a work phone or you're signing in using like a Microsoft account where you have like a company Microsoft account. Then you might see this. But for this particular thing, likely a lot of you guys are not going to see this. So, all right, everything's good to go right here. Let me hit next. Now, it's going to start copying stuff. Now, I'm going to show you something that's going to be very, very helpful for a number of you guys especially coming from an old phone, or if you're using a carrier device. So let's let this go through this process. Hopefully, it don't take too long. Obviously, I'll edit it out when I come to post time, where we're just not sitting here just watching the phone just spin and spin and spin. I will say this. And this is why I say set aside some time for setting up your device. This part can take a little bit. Now, we're at the screen I want to be at.